G'day guys, welcome back. It's resin day, yay! Now, do you remember me making these coasters with those pieces of timber in them? Balinese teak they are, aren't they gorgeous? Love doing those. And after I'd done those, a lady messaged me and she said she was doing some with timber veneer or wood veneer, which is really, really thin. And I've gone back and I've looked through like the last few months worth in my messages, and I can't find who it is, but you know who you are. So hi, I'm sorry I can't remember who you are, but if you're watching this, put your name down in the comments so that I can find your message again. She had this great idea to use some veneer, so I went and got some. So I don't know if this is the same one she got. It's pretty thin. Look, it's like paper. So looks like real timber, doesn't it? So I cut one little piece out just to test it. So I'm going to cut some more out. So what I'm going to do, move these out of the way. So going along this sort of line, but much easier, I think, with veneer. So instead of trying to like measure your circle and cut it out and think, oh my gosh, is it round? Just get something that you've already made from that mold and use that as a template, okay? So that's what I did. I cut that out and then I had a look at the pattern and I thought this black line here, I'm going to follow that. So I cut that out and there was another black line here that I followed and I cut that out. So we'll get rid of that one. We don't need that one. So what I'm going to do is, first of all, I'm going to fill these with resin, not all the way, maybe 2/3. And I thought I would use this, like pick any color. I just wanted like a pale creamy color, something that would go nicely with this shade of timber. This is Interferrance Gold, Bling It. So I'm going to use that. So I'm going to basically pour resin into these four. And then I'm going to come back after a few hours, and when it's still tacky, you know, when you can touch it and it's still a bit tacky, it doesn't stick to you, like lifts up, it's still a bit tacky. I'm then going to come along and I'm going to stick my pieces down on top of it like that. So we'll see the Interferrance Gold through the center, yeah? Yeah. And then when it's set a bit more, I'm just going to do a flat coat of clear. So I shouldn't have to worry about bubbles, because you know, if you're putting like anything like this, even paper, into resin, you're probably going to get bubbles. But if I do it the other way and put the resin down first, wait till it's tacky, stick it down, then put a clear coat on, it should work. It does in my little pea brain of a mind anyway. It works. So let's get on and do another one. So yeah, look, you can buy these. This is it's in a roll. I've got this one as well. Look at the size of it. I thought I was getting a little piece. I haven't even opened it yet. It's I don't even know how to open it. It's huge. Maybe I need to make a tray out of it. But I think it's look at that. I think it's burl. Doesn't it look really nice? So we're going to do another one in that. It feels a little bit thicker, this one, but still feels like paper. So yeah, I'll be doing that one another day. But I just thought it's such a big piece. It's a bit difficult to handle. I guess I could cut it down, but I'm just going to use this one today. So pick a piece that you like, that's got some interest in it. I chose that bit there before. Because remember, wherever your circle's going to be, you're going to cut the center out. Well, today I'm cutting the center out so that you can see the resin. So I mean, that's really pretty there, but then you're going to cut the center out. So what about on this side? So we've got, oh, this one looks nice here. How about this one? So we can follow these. Yeah? Yeah. All right. I was going to say, oh, I don't want to waste it, but look, I've got so much of it. Let's do, How about that? That's got an interesting look there. Let's just put that there. And then just with the pen, I'm just going to go around. And then what you need to do is you need to cut on the inside of your circle, okay? I'm just going to actually just cut that. See how easy you can cut it? Just going to do that and move that out of the way for a sec. And you can still use that piece there if you wanted to. I'm just going to cut this bit out. Just roughly, and then it's easier for me to manage. So what I'm going to do is I'm going to cut on the inside of the line. You need to come in probably a couple of millimeters on the inside of the line, because you've got to remember that when you put your pen down, it's kind of leaving, well, it's a couple of millimeters thick anyway, so it's going to leave a line sort of more on the outside. So you want to cut on the inside, otherwise your piece will be too big. But it's easy enough to cut down, you know, if you cut it and it's too big. You can just trim a little bit more off. So just try and go as neatly and roundly as you can. Roundly, is that a word? I don't think so. Okay, so let's see if it fits. If it doesn't fit at this, make sure it fits, because if it doesn't fit at this stage, you take a little bit more off. Take a little bit more off up here. Obviously haven't gone exactly the same all the way around. It's a guide. You know, the piece that you've already made, it's a guide. Okay, because you don't want any sort of overlapping. All right, that looks good. I'll throw that piece out. We don't need that. Now, have a look at the piece and see where you want. Like I said, I want the two sides, and I just want to cut the middle out. And I'm liking this sort of pattern like that. So, and it's up to you how much you want. I mean, you may just decide you want to keep this little bit here. But I think I'm going to go with, and you don't have to follow it. See how it goes all the way down there? You don't have to follow it. You can just come in from here if you want to. Decisions. So let's just come in from here for now. I'm just going to follow that line there. And look, this stuff's not expensive, and you've got heaps of it. So if you cut it out and you think, oh yeah, I don't really like that, just cut yourself another one. So that's that one. Or if you think maybe that's a bit big, yeah, see, I think that's a bit big. Let's go on this darker line here. Let's follow that line instead. I think it's nice that you've got some little natural line to follow, and you can make it a little bit more wavy if you want to. Okay, so that's that one. I think that's probably going to work a bit better. And you don't have to sort of, you know, go back up like that. Like I said, you can go straight up. So this one, I like those 2 points there. I'm just going to pick up this line here. Follow that sort of curve. And pick up that line there instead. Like so. And then back up into that other curve that I've already got. So, you know, just do whatever you want to do with it. Like so. How's that? Yep, it's nice, I think, if they're all a little bit different. Okay, so now there's a darker piece. I'd like to put some of the, might use this bit here, having a little bit of dark there, and then cut there. So, oops, scissors are underneath. So anyway, I'm just going to cut the other two out. I'm going to mix up some resin, and I'll be right back, because you don't need to see me do it again. I'll be right back. Righto, resin's mixed. These are cut. Now the one that I had over here, that was kind of more wiggly there, I decided I'm not going to use it in this one because all the other three that I didn't have this cut out here. They were straight up, so I just did another one for this one. So that's them there. They're all very similar. I think they'd make a nice little matching set. So let's move them out the way for a minute. Just want to make sure that I know where they go though. There's my resin. I'm using the Platinum 360 Plus. It's called Surfboard Epoxy. There is another one that's food safe, but I'm just using this one. Not sure what the difference is, like if it's thicker or anything. I don't know, I'm just using that. This is just a little sample kit in here. Only because I'm not using it. I'm using my big, because I bought 15 litres, so they're very big, heavy bottles, and they're down there on the floor. So I'm just showing you the picture because someone asked me for the picture. So there we go. Let's put this in. We're going to have a good amount, I guess, because it's a big cup. So of that 360 plus, I did 150 grams of A and 65 grams of B. Look at that. I love this Interferrance gold. It's like one of my favourite colours. Gives really good dragon scales too, the crackles. It's a good one for that. Alright, let's just mix this in slowly. I got some tape and I cleaned out my mould, which you always need to do, don't you? Okay. Oh, plovers outside. Did you hear that? Plovers. They're wanting to nest again because it's spring. And I don't want them in my backyard again because they swoop the dogs. And they think it's their backyard. Now with any mica powder you have to mix it in really, really well. You might have to come back after a couple of minutes and mix it again because some little particles float up to the top. I found it's better to mix the mica into the resin. Excuse me. If you put the mica in first, it kind of sticks to the side of your cup and it doesn't get sort of mixed in properly, and then you end up with little bits of flyaway mica. It's going to put a no, let's leave it at that. Let's leave it at that. I don't want it too opaque. I'm happy if it's a little bit transparent. It's hard to tell with this one. Alrighty. So this mold takes 330 grams of mixed resin, and I've made up 215. So it'll allow us a little bit for the top coat. All right, hopefully that's enough. Let's put the stick down. Right. Blew dust and that blew out of the way. All right, here we go. See how they've warped a little bit, but once they stick down, they'll be fine. Oh, that's the other thing. Now, when it comes to veneer, there are really thin paper veneers like this that you can easily cut with the scissors. You saw me cut them. And then there's a thicker veneer, and like they coat furniture with it. Have you seen that? Like it looks like real timber, but it's only a thin little layer of timber on your furniture. So that is much thicker. And then again, there's a thicker one, probably about 4 or 5 millimeters thick. And you won't be able to cut that with scissors. So just make sure when you're buying it that you know what you're getting, and that you're happy with the thickness of it so that you can actually cut it. I mean, if you've got saws and all kinds of things and you want to go for a thicker one, go for it. But I just want to be able to just cut it with scissors here in my craft room. So that's why I've chosen this really thin one. But like I said, you pick the one that suits you. Now, being mica, it's all going to pull in from the outside in. I just want to see how much room I've got left. Don't need a lot for the top coat. but I do want enough. All right, stand back then and have another look across the top. See if they're equal. This one's got more. You've got more than the others. Let's take a bit out. Okay. I probably made a little bit more actually, because when I was measuring, I went over. You know how you say, okay, 150 grams, but you end up with 160, and then you have to add more of the part B. It's just, you know, pouring out of the big jugs. It's a bit more difficult than pouring out of a little bottle. So I did kind of go over a bit, so I probably got a little bit more than I wanted to. I'm just standing back and looking across the top into my lights. And that tells me how much room I've got there from the surface of the resin to the top of my coaster mold. And I'm just trying to see if they're all equal. And ladies, when you're reaching down like that, make sure your ponytail doesn't fall into your cup of resin, all right? Be careful. So I'm leaning down like this to look on the side, and my ponytail's falling forward. So you have to be careful not to let your ponytail fall forward. All right, that's it. I'm not going to put any more in. I'm going to give that a torch. I'm going to move these out of the way. I don't want to burn those with my torch, do I? Love, 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 love. Love how the resin pulls in like that. Looks like an eyeball, doesn't it? An iris. So pretty. Love it. So I'm going to come back again in a few minutes and I'll torch again. Just let the bubbles rise and I'll come back and torch. No, you don't have to torch constantly, but let the bubbles rise and then torch again. I found that if I'm spritzing with alcohol like on a top coat, it leaves a bit of a residue, like an oily residue. So I don't do top coats with, if I'm going to spray with alcohol, I don't spray it on a top coat. That's just me, that's what I found. Maybe you guys have had more luck than me, but I don't like the look of it. Look, that one's almost closed in. All right, you guys, and now looks pretty pretty with that, doesn't it? The light shimmer of that with this darker brown. So now we'll let that sit. Like I said, just till it's tacky. You want to be able to touch it without it sticking to you, but still a bit tacky. I think it's probably going to be probably 3 or 4 hours for this resin. So I'll come back then and we'll do the next step. Righto, I am back. I checked on it about an hour ago and it was still sticky, but I can touch it now. I hope I haven't left it too late. Oh, and I also did this one. Look, I cut the little hearts out as well. So I drew around that one. So, gosh, let's see. Now we're going to do this. Yeah, see that it's hard enough that I can move them around a little bit. So yeah, that should work out well. Now, if I put it in the wrong place, I can still lift it and move it around if I need to. It's harder than it looks. Should have started with the smallest one though, didn't I? Okay, there we go. So now I can like push it down and it'll stick. Yay! One down. Let's see how these ones go. So I guess it's just a matter of waiting and getting your timing right. I think once they're down, that's it. You're not going to get them back up again. And it's not going to have any bubbles underneath it because it's, well, I don't think it would because it's stuck down. So yeah, I think it should work out really well. You could use your fingers like this, or what have I got? What have I got? I've got one of these like little silicone brush things. You could run around the edge in that, with that. But I think fingers would work just as well. Maybe just the silicone in the edges there. What do you think? Do you like that? I think it looks really nice. Yeah, if you come back and you do this too soon and it's really sticky, if you put it in the wrong spot, you won't be able to move it. So you've got to wait until you can actually touch it. Oh, we're just learning here, aren't we? Learning together. What's that? Learning together. But it's certainly easier than cutting timber really, really thin and then sealing it so that you don't get bubbles. I mean, you know, it's not going to look as realistic, but I think once we're done, I think they'll look really nice. And I'm hoping that when I put a clear coat on, it might change the colour a little bit. Not sure if it will, but we'll see. And like, you can put them wherever you want to, you know. I'm just sort of putting them side by side, lining up this little corner with this round here, and then just pushing it down once that's sitting into the edge there. So once I've done this, I'll make up some clear resin. Now, if you've touched this resin here, it's uncured resin, so you're going to have to just, you know, wash your hands really well. I mean, you could put gloves on, but I think it would be really difficult with gloves. You might stick to this and be a big sticky mess. But up to you guys what you want to do, what you feel comfortable doing. See, that one's a little bit higher there. I'm just kind of pulling it down a bit. And just got to be careful you don't push too hard and dent your resin. Okay, that one's down. Probably just made it with the time. I think any longer it would have been like too set and it wouldn't have stuck. I was watching a movie with my family. It's Sunday night here at the moment. It's 8:30 p.m. and we had some Thai takeaway and then we watched a movie. And my daughter's up from Brisbane for the weekend. Right, last one. Push it in there, make sure they're even. I'm looking at this space here and this space here. Were you all saying, do the heart? I'm glad I did the heart. And I just made sure that I had, you know, the little nib there without any veneer on it. This is working well. And then I'm thinking I'll probably do the edges in my gold pen just to pick up the gold shimmer of the Interferrance gold mica. So we'll see what it looks like once I've unmolded them. I wonder if you can actually pick that up after it's gone down. Where's my toothpick? Toothpick! I've got a toothpick. I'm just going to grab a toothpick. Stay there, don't go anywhere. On my little shelf of goodies. I dropped my toothpick container the other day and toothpicks went everywhere. Then I had to pick up sticks. This one here's just got a bit of a gap there. Just not sure if I can actually pick it up. Yes, I can. Look at that. That's what I mean about having it sticky, but not too sticky. It's not going to change very much, I don't think. All right, let's push that one down. Okay, righto. Now I'll put you on pause for a few minutes while I go and mix my resin. No, don't need very much. Just to cover this now, just clear. I don't know what that is. That could, it's like a little bump. It could just be, you know, where the fold was. A bit of a bump there. All right, I'll be back shortly. And we'll just do a top coat and see how that turns out, hey? You liking them so far? So I've made up some more of the same resin, the Platinum 360 Plus. I did 75 grams of A and 32 grams of B. It's probably more than I need, but I didn't want to be short. So just to be on the safe side. All right, let's see how this goes. Do you think they'll change colour? Like real timber changes colour. I wonder if timber veneer changes colour. Let's have a look. Oh, it looks really pretty. Wow. Let's push that to the edges. Because my resin's not totally set, I don't want like a line. Sometimes if you pour a top coat on while your other coat's still quite soft, it leaves a line where your puddle went. So I'm just making sure that I pushed it out really quickly because I don't want that line. It's happened to me before when I thought, oh, why have I got a line? And then it occurred to me later that it's from where the puddle hit. Edge of the puddle left a line, a little groove. All right, there we go. That's to the edge. Wow, you guys, look at that. Is that a hair? And look, no bubbles. Oh, this is so fun. Like if you wanted to do, you know, a river, I guess you could do, you know, your blue in there. You could have different color timber veneers because it is a timber, like it's a real wood. It's just shaved really, really thin. But yeah, I think it'd be perfect for those river pours that people like to do, live edge river pours. It's just a cheats way of doing it. What do you think? Oh, I think it's great. I'm really happy that it's turned out so well. And look, it was easy. Easy peasy, lemon squeezy. There's a hair there. I'll just get to the sides here and then I'll get that out. So happy with these. I can see me doing more with different colours on the inside. Did you see me do my big tray? That had black. Then those other ones that I showed you earlier, they've just got a pale grey. Very transparent grey. So you could do transparent, you could do opaque. Yeah, all kinds of things. Different shades of blue. All kinds of things you could do. Just the only thing I'm a little bit thingy about is just the center, you know, where the resin's pulled from the outside in and it's left that little, because it's a gold, like metallic, it's left like a little shimmer in the center. These two, not so much because that's covered the center and that's covered the center, but that one's right in the middle. I'll take you down and show you in a minute, give you a close-up. But look, I don't think it's going to be an issue. I only just made enough resin, you guys. I don't think it'll be an issue, but just something to remember, I guess, if you're using a metallic. It does give that little shimmer in the center. I just thought it would be a really nice, pretty color to have with this timber, just a really warm glow. Because I was just going to do like a cream, like a metallic cream. or a cream mica, really. Torch it in a minute once I've done all of them. But yeah, I'm not getting any bubbles. I hope I've got enough left over for this last one. Now when you're torching something so small like this, you have to be so careful. Like when you're torching a big thing, you're moving your flame around a lot. But when you're doing such a little one, your flame is concentrated into that small area, and these ones can stick. So you just got to be careful if you're using a flame around any silicone, but especially little molds, because yeah, you're concentrating that heat into a very small area, so you can fuse your resin to your silicone. I'm loving the color this is turning. All right, let's see if we've got enough to do the last one. We didn't need all that. We'll see if anybody else needs a tiny bit. All right, quickly push that off to the side so we don't leave that mark I was telling you about. Look at the colour difference though. It's just gorgeous, isn't it? Just beautiful. Love it. Just take your time, push it to the edges. I think I've just made enough. I probably could do with a tiny bit more if I wanted to dome it. But see, I didn't use all my interference gold, did I? Like I left some, because I left a bit of space. I didn't use it all. Right, I've got a tiny bit. Let me just have a look and see if anybody needs just a tiny bit more. And again, careful with the ponytail. Now I hope I don't get a mean blush, a resin, you know, that blush bloom that you get on the top sometimes. What's my humidity? Oh, 65% in the studio tonight, so we'll see. See what happens tomorrow. I don't like scraping that either, really, because you've got unmixed resin sort of on the sides, and that can leave like a little oil slick as well on the top. So just got to be aware. There's so many things, so many variables, isn't there? All right, I'm going to leave that like that. I'm going to give it a quick torch. Look, I found this in my kitchen. It's one of those barbecue thingies, barbecue lighters. People say they're better because they're not as hot as this. I don't know. I mean, that did pop bubbles. Not as good as this though, but it did pop bubbles. I don't see any more bubbles. It's in the resin. Right, let's get down and have a little look, hey? Have a little look-see at this. Let me get my gloves off. I've spilt some resin here. Actually, let me just wipe that off before I take my glove. It's half off. Let me just clean up my mess. I like a nice clean workspace. All right. I'm just going to clean my stick real quick before I take my gloves off. Try and do everything you need to before you take your gloves off. So that's a mixing stick. That's for tomorrow. Stick all that in there. There's my rubbish. Put my gloves in there. And then ready to go. Don't have to touch anything else resiny now. All right, let's go down and have a look. Oh my gosh, they look amazing, you guys. They look amazing. So happy with them. Look at them. Now, don't they look like real timber? I mean, they are real timber. But people think that they're, you know, thick timber. Although when you turn them upside down, when you unmold them and turn them upside down, you're only going to see the interference gold on the back. But if you paint the edges, no one's going to actually see how thick the timber is. So it's a little trick there as well. Let's see across the top. Look really nice, don't they? So I mean, these ones are really pretty too. These ones. So yeah, happy with them. Love them. Oh, there's that gold I was telling you about. See how it's shimmering in the center there? There, because it's got the metallic. But you can't really see it in these ones because I've covered the center. But I don't know that you get that with all the micas. It's mainly the metallic ones that kind of do that, but never mind. Still looks really pretty. All right, I'll see you in the morning for the grand unmolding. So exciting. Okay, guys, it's the next day. They're set, they're cured. Let's do this. Now, obviously, there's nothing to look at on the back, but we can just see how they're going to look. Look at that. Woohoo. Wow. Now I've got my little emery board, and I'm going to just very gently just sand off the little tip there, because I didn't fill them up all the way to make them dome, so I've got that little tiny lip there. Actually, I better not sand over the top of my coasters. Hey, I'm going to get dust in my mold. Just put that there. Alright, I'm just going to give it a little sand, and then I'm going to paint the edges with my gold pen. Actually, I'll start here, then I'll know where I've finished. All the way around. And you can feel if you've got any little hard bits that you need to maybe go over again. So it's pretty simple, pretty quick and easy to do. I have got the electric Dremel as well, but I find that just for something like this, the Dremel's too big. And sometimes, you know, if you're not careful, you can push a bit hard and it can take a big chunk out. So for something that just delicate like this, I prefer just to use my emery board or nail file. And then just feel around. There's a little bit more that needs to do. And make sure that you're not getting on top. You don't want to scratch your surface. Just doing that little top edge there. And that's that. Let's go around and feel. There's a little bit more just there that I can feel. But if you do take your resin up and dome it, you won't have the little lip. But yeah, I didn't make up enough to do that. I could put another coat on, like I could put a top coat on, another top coat, and take them up a little bit fuller, but I'm not going to, because I think these are fine, and it was just my little first experiment, so I'll move on. Next time I'll write down what I did. I'll look back on the video and work out what I did, how much I put on. And then I'll know for next time. Look at that. Isn't that just divine? So pretty. All right, let's do the edge. I'd like to do the edge. You don't have to, but I just think because you can see, you know, the veneer in there, if you cover it up, you won't see it. And not many people are going to flip it over and look at the back, are they? So I'm just going to use the Deco Color Premium. It's my favourite one that I like to use. And actually I should put a clean glove on so that I don't leave fingerprints. Just when I'm holding it, it's just so that you don't leave fingerprints. Yeah? Yeah. All right, here we go. I'll try and be quick. I'll just get this one done. and then I'll do the others. Make sure that you don't go over onto the surface, because the resin's only just set. If you get paint on the top, you're going to be in trouble. You won't be able to get it off because the resin hasn't cured yet. So if you put, say, alcohol on to try and get this paint off, you'll leave a big smeary mark on your resin, so you can't do that. And you probably need, actually for this pen, you probably need nail polish remover, acetone, to get it off. And again, it'll leave a big blurry smudge mark on the surface of your resin. And then you will have to top coat. So just be really careful about not getting the paint. I think it's paint. We'll call it paint. Pen? Gold pen? Gold paint? I don't know. I mean, you can use, you know, acrylic paint, or, well, I wouldn't use acrylic paint, oil-based paint with a little brush, but I just find this is so much easier. When I started, I used to use the little, you know, the little tiny paint pots for model cars and model planes. I used to use that with a little paintbrush, but this is so much easier. Nearly done. Okay, so that's the side done. Now we just need to do the edge. And for any reason, like, see how up here there's, I don't know if you can see, there's just like a couple of millimeters or 1 millimeter where the veneer hasn't gone right up to the edge, but with the gold pen I'm going to cover that so you won't actually see that it doesn't go all the way to the very edge. Now just be really careful here, and you can decide how thick you want to make your line. Just be careful you don't go onto the edge. Look, there's a hair. Oh, I've got to get that. Hang on, I've got to get that. Where is it? I think you get little bristles that come out of that pen nib. Okay, where was I up to? So yeah, I'll just do this one, and then I'll do the others as well. You don't need to see me do all of them. And then I'll set them up for a photo shoot. I'm looking forward to doing more colours. Definitely going to do the blue, because I've got a lot of this timber veneer now. Oops. Where I've sanded it, it's kind of gone curved, so I don't have that sharp lip to catch the edge of the pen on. So I just got to be a little bit more careful. And then if you need to go over any areas that aren't maybe quite as thick, or maybe haven't got as good coverage, you can just go again. Just trying to get the whole thing to look even. I think that's it. Yay! I did it without getting any on the surface. What do you think? Do you like it with the gold edge? So now you can't see that veneer. It just looks like solid timber, doesn't it? Let me put this up on a little cup. Just a little upturned cup. My dogs are barking. My daughter's obviously got up. Hang on, let me just shut the door. She decided to stay another night, so when she gets up out of bed, dogs all bark and carry on. All right, let's get the rest of them out. I want to see what the little heart looks like too. come out nice and easily. I do like the ones that have got more of a curve in them. See that one there as well. I don't know if you can see. I didn't take the veneer right up to the edge. I probably didn't cut it very well. And there's a little bit of a edge there that I have to sand. So when I go over it with the gold pen, that'll cover that up. So it's very forgiving. And I think it's a really beautiful, easy way of making these coasters. A tiny bit of resin that's gone over my little nib there. Look at that! Look how cute that is. So you could turn that into a pendant. I'll paint that as well with gold. But yeah, you could wear it around your neck. You could hang it on your keychain. And it's just a little bonus if you're buying this mold. These are in my eBay store if you want them. They're 12 centimeters, 4 inches across. So there we go. That's them. And yeah, like I said, I'm going to go and sand them all now and paint the edges. And then I'll set them up outside for a photo. But yeah, let me know what you think of them. Do they look realistic to you? There's lots of different colours of veneers. I'll see if I can find some more. All right, got lots to do today. I'll leave it at that, and I'll see you real soon for the next video. Hope you enjoyed this. Have a go. It's much easier than using real timber. All right, love you all. See you soon. Bye for now.